Alright, hey guys, welcome to part 7 of my ActionScript 3 platformer tutorial. Today we're going to talk more about enemies and what they do and how we can have more than one of them on the screen at the same time. So, before we start, there's two little quick things that I realize are wrong with the code that I put out in the last video that I made. First off, we go down here to where we have our for loop for checking the collisions on the blocks. Now, near the end of the other video, I had this, and I changed this from I to S, but I realize now that it should have been I all along, because we're going to see that when we get into the actual text with multiple enemies, we're going to see that we need this to be an I instead of an S. And then the other thing is that I had defined current, this variable right here, is where I had defined it, and if we have it defined in here in the checkStuff function, that means every time that we run the function, it's going to start at 0, so it's always just going to focus on the first enemy in the array. So we need to take that variable. You can see I put it up here. So you need to put it up here, throw a private in front of it, and put it up here with all of the other variables that are up here. So now, the only thing we really need to do in order to add another enemy is just throw a 3 in somewhere else. You can see I put a 3 here, and now if we run this, granted that you do those two little quick fixes that I just told you, this should run like this. If you didn't change the S back to an I, the enemy that was up here is going to fall down through this, and then he's going to have a hard time doing anything. And if you didn't change the current, like I'm going to hit this guy a few times, it's pretty low, and then you hit the other guy, health bar goes back up. It's not going to do that, it's just going to stay where it was. So make sure you put in those quick fixes, and that should work like that is. And that's what we're really supposed to have now. We've thrown in another enemy. We can do this pretty seamlessly. In fact, I'm going to throw another 1 here, because that's going to give us a border, and then another 3 right here. Now we have 3 enemies. So as you saw there, maybe you saw that it lagged a little when I started it. So we're going to need to be careful not to add too much at any given point, but here we go. We can get that enemy almost all the way down, and then come over here, hit these enemies. Got that guy. Got that guy. And now the only one left is the one that's still over there. Alright. So one thing we're going to want to do right now to just help ease up some of the confusion is we are going to want to add names for our enemies, because we just have that health bar and it moves around all the time. If we get to a point where there's a lot of enemies, we're not going to be able to tell which is which. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add in an array, private var enemy names. We're going to call this, we're going to get an array, and we're just going to have some names. For now, I'm just going to be really uncreative, go enemy 1, enemy 2, and enemy 3. So we just have this array here of those, and what we're going to do is every time that we create a new enemy down here, we are going to add a new variable in here. We're going to say public var name string equals nothing, and then we are going to actually give it a constructor now, and we're going to say name colon string, and in here under all the graphic stuff say this dot name equals name. Now we go back over here, and in here we're actually going to put, we look back up here, enemy names dot length, is it -1? No, not -1, just enemy names dot length. Put that inside. It would be enemy names dot length. So you're going to have to make sure that the number of names you have lines up with the number of 3s on your map. But now we've got this new thing, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add another text box. First off, we're just going to make sure that there's no errors here. Oh, we've got a little something. Oh, we probably can't call this name. That's probably a reserved thing. We'll call it name 2. Does that fix the problem? Yes. Alright, so it's going to be formatted just like the text box for our score. And we're going to, here in the main, throw yet another variable up here. And it's going to be, we'll put it under the other text field. We'll call this one enemy name box text field. And now down here in the stuff where we define things, under the other text box, we'll put enemy name box dot x equals, we'll put that 300 right under the enemy health bar. And the y, we're going to make that, let's say 75. Hopefully that won't cut down too much into the rest of the play. Enemy name box dot default text format is once again going to be text style. And then add child enemy name box. And now down here in our if statement for our health bar, we're going to put in here enemy name box dot text equals enemies current dot name. So now with just those few lines of code, oh, no, it's name 2. Yeah, that's why we needed to do that. Oh. Equals enemies current dot name 2. Oh, I did that again. Let's see what's up. Let's see. It's public, so it shouldn't have any issues finding it. And it works that in the constructor. This is weird. Just to be safe, let's put nothing in there for now. We're just going to see if this fixes the issue, and we're going to say enum.name2 equals enemy names dot length. Oh, wait a minute. I see what it is. Okay. Yep. We don't want to put enemy names dot length in here. We want to put enemies dot length. And there is going to be a +1 because we haven't added enum to enemies yet. Alright. Now this should work. Yep, for some reason it makes enemy 2 the primary target. Uh-oh. Parameter must be non-null. Great. Oh, we've got all kinds of instances running. So this is going to show you a little bit of the debugging process that I haven't really shown you before. A lot of times you're going to encounter issues like this in making a game. Let's see if it... Oh. It only does it on that one. That is weird. Alright. Alright. Line 119 of main. Okay. to. That should. It's not going to be null. I don't see why. Dang it. Oh, I was wrong. It's not a +1. So now it puts the focus back on enemy 1, but now we're hitting enemy 2. And now the only focus left to put is on enemy 1. Alright, there we go. Fixed that. Now, the text box is a bit low. We're going to bring that up a bit. Where'd you go? Here we go. Make it 50. Let's see how that looks. A little better. Let's go 35. Perfect. So now we see we have different health bars that go, and now that's done. We should have a little message that says in here with, we'll put one enemy name box dot text equals all enemies cleared. So now we run this again. We can even just stand right here. All enemies cleared. Text box isn't quite big enough. So we just go over here and we say enemy name box dot width equals 300. That should be more than enough. And now, go ahead and kill all our enemies again. All enemies cleared. So we probably want to also make it so that we get points for killing an enemy as an addition to coins. So we just want to go in our code down here for when an enemy is killed. We don't need this trace. That's just from when I was testing things. And we will put in here, right at the end, score plus equals, let's say, 10 for killing an enemy. We really don't need to test that. I guess that's just about it for this one. I know this is really not all that much new content, but it's really just an extension of the last one because I had to end it a bit briefly. But I will be making part 8 very soon, and it should be up very soon for you guys to watch. Next time I'm going to talk more about graphics, actually. I'm going to start with the graphics that are going to be in the final product. We'll have different kinds of enemies, we'll have all this different fun stuff, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, I will see you guys next time.